Hey, what's up everybody? Brooke here. I hope wherever you are in the world today is treating you well. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I talked about a few times on this channel already, but I'm almost at the 6-month mark with this elimination of the substance, and I have to say that it's almost single-handedly one of the biggest decisions I've made in my life that has made the biggest impact. So like the second week of January, I stopped drinking coffee, caffeine, anything like that. And as of July 9th, 2024, I've lost over 50 pounds and I just feel like a different person. Now I'm gonna start this video by saying that I'm not saying caffeine is evil or anything like that. People have different tolerances for different things. Like even think of like hot sauce, right? Like I personally can't have any type of hot sauce. I don't know if that's because I've been a vegetarian my whole life, but like other people that, you know, whatever, can have a whole bottle of hot sauce. But like for me, I can't have any, not even mild. Like I can't have any type of hot sauce. So like people are different, you know what I'm saying? So like what might affect me doesn't affect someone else. So this video is not to demonize caffeine. It is to share my experience with caffeine, addiction, sensitivity, and kind of put a lens on that, because there are a lot of people, especially today, like overworked, stressed, tired, poor relationships, bad health, bad marriages. I mean, people have like a lot of stress in their lives. They don't like where they live. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff, right? And we're all like, you know, not all, but there's a lot of people that are extremely stressed and tired in like an emotional, you know, like a physical, a spiritual level. And there are a lot of people that are taking a lot of substances, whether they're vaping, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, or drinking an excessive amount of caffeine. Now, the thing is with caffeine is that it's tricky, right? Because like, well, you can notice when somebody's drinking a lot of alcohol, you know what I'm saying? Or even smoking a lot of cigarettes, be like, damn, bro, you're like a chain smoker, you know? Like, but something about caffeine, the way they kind of make it sexy, you know, like Starbucks and like all these like places, lattes, all these like different, you know, cafe bars, things like that. Like, it's easy to overconsume caffeine, very easy, like insanely easy. And most people, I would bet, especially from what I've seen, are over consuming caffeine on a daily basis. Now, I'll tell you some things that I was experiencing when I was drinking caffeine. And I'll go back and tell you like my story really, really super quick. But when I was drinking coffee, I had horrible headaches. I always felt like I was thirsty, and I'm somebody that drinks a lot of water. I drink Mountain Valley spring water. I drink a lot of like good quality water, and I felt like I was always thirsty. I felt like my skin was dry, my hair was dry. I was holding on to weight and water weight. I had extreme anxiety. I was watching a bunch of like nonsense, like true crime, things like that, like negative things, listening to negative music. And it's funny because it's like, that's just coffee. How is that gonna affect you? But what happens is at least for me, it put me in an anxious state. And the way that I would handle anxiety is by having different vices, like eating like crap, eating a lot of sweets, consuming like bad content for my mind, like trying to get my mind off of my physical anxiousness, you know? And what would happen is I was starting to develop like really, really bad habits. But I have to say, doing an elimination diet of my life, cutting out certain things like, you know, auditing who I talk to, cutting out people who don't serve me in my life in the sense of like, they're not bringing anything good to my life. Watching what I'm like actually watching on YouTube, you know, cutting things out that weren't good for me, true crime being one of them. Even what I'm reading, you know what I mean? Like, what am I reading that's actually gonna like build my like mental state, even if it's fiction? Like, I want it to be positive, you know? What am I listening to? That's a big thing. That's a subliminal thing. You know, you don't want to be listening to music that's like low energy. And not to sound like woo-woo, but it's true. You know, like there's this whole like, I forgot what the frequency is. I have to get more into it, but there's like an actual frequency that you should listen to music on that hits you a certain way. But with caffeine, I would drink it early in the morning, and it would start my trajectory for the day. I'd be anxious, I'd be rushing, I wouldn't be able to focus. I love like the pickup that I would get, which is really just making my heart race, which I would always have arrhythmia, and like I'd have heart palpitations, and that would lead into like other anxious symptoms. I'd have like, you know, my eyes would twitch and things like that. It was just like really, there was a lot of symptoms that were manifesting from the overconsumption of caffeine. But yeah, I'd have it in the morning, it would set my tone for the day, and then I'd have like 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, oat milk lattes throughout the day. And at 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine a pop, that's a lot of caffeine to consume in a day. Sometimes I'd have more, you know? But I'll tell you this much, it was a slippery slope. So like for me, for those of you who don't know, who are watching this video, who may not have seen my other videos, I'm a plumber in my local here on Long Island, and I started going to a trade school back when I was like 33, so a couple years ago, and you know, it was a new world for me because I hadn't worked for someone like, or a company like that ever. I had a business for 10 years, and then I went into a machine shop, which was like very lackadaisical. I made my own hours, and then going into like the world of like, you know, of being in a union, construction, going to school at night was really difficult for me. It was a big, like, you know, shocker for me. You have early hours, and then I'm coming home, I'm trying to play Mary Poppins, and then I'm going to school at night, and it was just like very overwhelming. It's still a lot for me, but I'm heading into my 5th year, so I'm really grateful for that. I'm gonna bang this year out, and then I'm gonna be the best plumber I can be. But I'll say that it started with like, I remember like the first week, I was like, how am I gonna like stay up? I got barely any sleep, which was another huge side effect of drinking too much caffeine. I never got good sleep, never got into like REM sleep, would wake up on a drop of a dime, always felt like I was tired, always could feel like I could go to sleep anytime, close my eyes, pass out, you know what I mean? And I was just shocked, shocked and shot at the fact that I felt like I couldn't like go through my day without drinking coffee, you know what I'm saying? But when I went into the union, you know, I started to, I was at a really like low point in my life. I had postpartum anxiety and depression for like a solid 5 years. You know, I was the heaviest I had ever been, and I just was not happy. And I really had to push myself into getting into this program because I knew I needed something to focus on, and I had to really just, you're talking about like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, like that's literally what I had to do, because I felt really alone. There's like a lot of stuff that goes into that, but when it comes to the caffeine, which is about what this video is about, I started to drink coffee probably like the first week that I started the trades. And I had like consumed, you know, caffeine and stuff in my 20s, pre-workouts and things like that. And it always kind of gave me like a little jolt, but that's really it's just a stimulant. It's just a stimulant, you know, and it's exhausting your own energy reserves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not like it's an elixir that's giving you actual energy. So, so I was drinking it. I flirted with like Starbucks, which would like really make me crazy with the sugar and like just it felt like I just like blew a line. You know, I'm not even kidding. Like I had like Coke jaw swinging. It was just crazy. Like I don't know how people consume Starbucks every single day. I had like a large a venti, I don't know if that's what you call it, but a mocha frappuccino, and yeah, it was just wild. I don't know how people. Like, no wonder people drive like animals, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're all hyped up on freaking Starbucks. But I was playing around with that, and then I found this coffee brand that I like. It's no shade to the company. I actually really like them. I'll never have, you know, their coffee again because I don't want to have caffeine again, but it's Pop and Bottle. And I found their lattes, and they're small, and they're cute cans, they're aesthetic, they were expensive, but they tasted really good, and I was like, you know what, I can rock this. So, anyway, I started to drink lattes, and it was kind of a slow starter, right? I'd have one here, one there, then it'd be 2, then maybe one day it was like 3, and then I found myself drinking one in the morning, one at break, one in the afternoon, one on my way home from work, one on my way to school, and it was like, I was just drinking so much, you know what I'm saying? I was drinking 5 or 6 lattes, you know, these cans, and like, they had high caffeine in them. So I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, what is wrong with me, right? But like, everything else, I would be like, you know what, I can drink coffee, I need coffee, everyone drinks coffee, like, so let me just, you know, drink this and work on everything else. So I would drink coffee, I would fast, I would do all these other things, and my weight would fluctuate up and down, but I never really moved the needle on the scale, you know what I'm saying? So fast forward to when I turned 37, and I'm like, you know what, I'm in my late 30s now, like I really want to, you know, any positive changes I make in my life, I gotta do it right now. I don't want to wait 5 years, I don't want to wait 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we're not guaranteed, you know, this time. Like I want to make the most out of myself and the time that I have, right? Hopefully, God willing, I live into an old age, but I also want to be healthy in my old age, you know what I'm saying? So, make a long story short, I hit January, slow start, right? I'm still eating like crap, I'm eating bread, I'm eating all this stuff, and I'm like, you know what, I just don't, I'm like, it's like played out, right? Eating like crap, drinking too much coffee, like, this is like played out for me. So, I hit like the second week of January, and then one day I used to go to the spot in Long Beach, And I really like obviously I like this deli because it was like a natural like food grocer or whatever. And it's Bob's Natural Foods if anybody's ever in Long Beach on Long Island. But like, I was like just spending so much money on like these big salads I would never finish, and I always get like tons of coffee. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stop eating during the day. So I started to fast, and then I really like, after like the first couple days, my coffee consumption was less and less. Then by like the end of the week of me making that pact with myself, I stopped drinking coffee altogether. And I have to say, like, it sucked at first. Like the first week I had a horrible headache, and I just didn't feel good. And I kept telling myself, like, don't make any lofty goals, because when I don't hit them, I get like really depressed, especially now it's mid-year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always like write what I want to do, what I've done, whatever. And by this time, usually I'm like depressed because I'm like, I didn't lose any weight. I gained weight. I feel like crap. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hit any of my goals. And I just didn't want to abuse myself anymore. So what I tell myself is that tomorrow I can have a coffee. If I really want one, I'll wait till tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and I always push it off. But now I don't do that anymore because for whatever reason, I had a rebellion factor in my head. Like, if you put a goal out for 30 days, like, depending on what mood I'm in, I'm going to break that. You know what I'm saying? So I really was on a short leash with the goals that I was setting. But I have to say, like, after like the first couple of weeks, I started to feel less bloated. Now, here's my conspiracy theory with caffeine. I'm telling you, I think caffeine is, a lot of people are overweight. Not just because of consuming too much caffeine, but there's something there, because I'll tell you, at least in my experience. Now, I have Hashimoto's disorder. It's a thyroid condition. People always say, oh, you can't lose weight, whatever, it's impossible. I lost 50 pounds, over 50 pounds since January. I'm telling you it's possible. You can certainly, it's a lifestyle adjustment. So when I stopped drinking coffee, I started to lose weight after like the first couple of weeks. I started to notice, like, I remember like I put like my fat girl pants on, and it was loose. And I was like, oh, damn. You know, it wasn't loose crazy, but a woman can tell, you know what I'm saying? Like when it's tight, like like the tightness factor, you know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds silly, but any women listening, like, they know the deal. Like, you have a pair of pants that you know how they fit you. And these were like looser. I was like, are these the right pants? Like, what's up, you know? So then it started to be where I was getting more sleep. I started to eat within a smaller window. I stopped eating like crap. Because I'm not drinking coffee, I'm not insanely anxious. I'm usually at like a 6 or 7 naturally. Like, I have real obsessive compulsive disorder. Like, I know some people like to be like, oh, I'm OCD, but I have like diagnosed severe obsessive compulsive disorder. So I always have like some level of anxiety. But I'll say that by quitting coffee, because I wasn't as anxious, I wasn't consuming garbage, mentally, physically, emotionally, and I wasn't like, I felt like I was using my time better. And even like when I would sleep, right? So like sleep for me, whatever reason, I don't get a lot of sleep. I have this thing, sorry, it's gonna annoy me. I have this thing where I don't get a lot of sleep. And I have to say, when I drank caffeine, it was like 10 times worse. Now it's getting better. I'm working with my doctor. I take melatonin. There's things that I'm doing to get like a deeper sleep, which is like night and day from where it was only 6 months ago. But I noticed that I was starting to sleep more. I wasn't waking up in the middle of the night. And a lot of times too with caffeine is, you know, I pee all the time. Like, and I drink a lot of water. I still pee all the time. But with caffeine, I felt like I was peeing more. You know what I'm saying? And that leads me into another symptom that I had as like a negative symptom after quitting coffee. Is I'm someone that's very regular. I have a high fiber diet, bowel movement wise, and not to be like too TMI. But when I stopped drinking coffee, there wasn't like a diuretic effect, and it was like I was constipated for like the first time in my life. I'm like, well, since I was a kid, because I also have like a thing with dairy. But I was like, what is this? And I started Googling it, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me? And I talked to my doctor about it, and he was like, yeah, he's like, a lot of people drink coffee to be regular, but you don't really have to do that. You just have to kind of get through the motions, like get it out of your system, and then you'll go back to being regular. But I was shocked. I remember like, it was like 2 days. I go from 2 times a day to over 2 days. And I told my doctor, and he was like, you know, it's just a symptom of detoxing off of coffee. So anyway, I remember I like was taking a lot of psyllium husk and things like that, and then I got regular. But that was like kind of a weird symptom that I wasn't prepared for. But I have to say now it's fine, and I just feel like I just feel like things are running way more smoothly, especially with like my heart health, knock on wood, because that's always like a big anxiety of mine. I used to get arrhythmia a lot, and that would set me into like a tailspin. I have such like a heart, I don't want to say phobia, but like an anxiety, like a health anxiety. My father passed away from a heart attack, and it's just like in my head, like it just always scares me. And anytime like I don't even take regular Novocaine at the dentist. I have to get it without epinephrine, I think it's called, because I feel like my heart racing. But even that, I'm not as anxious, so I could theoretically take epinephrine because I'm not so hyper-focused and anxious on every little thing. You know what I'm saying? But I forgot what I was gonna say. There's just so much. And I have to say, like, so I started in January. By March, I saw huge results. Huge results. I was probably already down 15 pounds by March. I mean, and that's in like only a couple of weeks, maybe six weeks. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, or 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I'm down 15 pounds. I'm not even trying. I'm just doing an elimination, right? It's not like I'm working like crazy, working out like crazy. My job's a manual labor job, but I'm fasting, getting more sleep, and I cut caffeine out. And now, fast forward to July, like I haven't seen this weight in years. I haven't seen this weight in years. Like, since right after my daughter was born 10 years ago. Like, and this is still not the weight that I like have as my goal, but it's close to the weight that I have as my goal, because I don't want to be like super stick thin. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have like a body, you know, especially because of my job. Being a plumber, I want to have muscles, but I have a very like healthy weight goal that I'm very close to, and I'm really, really proud of myself with that. But I have to say, like, people ask me, what are you doing? Are you on Ozempic? Are you like just saying all this crazy stuff? And I'm like, no, it's just lifestyle changes. And then as soon as I say that, they lose interest, right? But I have to say, like, if you're someone that has these things, right? Because I feel like the people that I talk to, oh, I can't get any sleep. My head's killing me. You know, I have aches and pains and all this other stuff. And a lot of people don't realize that coffee is very acidic for the body. So a lot of times, I learned this at the Bodies exhibit, if anybody knows, if anybody ever heard of the Bodies exhibit, I think it's in Vegas, I want to say, and in Manhattan. I went to the Manhattan one like 20 years ago. But, oh, this is saying it's too hot. But I have to say that, I'm going to put it in front of the AC. It says how, like, coffee, if I'm remembering correctly, there would be like coffee would be pulled from your bones, the calcium for your bones to help digest this coffee. So it's highly acidic. And then you think of like the Monster drinks, you think of like the C4s and all this other stuff, and like the stuff's not good for you. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was also following this Reddit thread about caffeine free, and like, people are making huge changes in their life by cutting caffeine out. Now, this isn't to say for those, you know, outliers that can drink coffee and then go to sleep. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that really want to go to the core and make core changes in their life. Because I'm curious how many people take Advil, take all these over-the-counter medications because they're dehydrated, because they drink too much caffeine, because they're constipated. Like, you have to look for the root of things. And that's one thing that I love about integrative health. And I've talked about my doctor before on here, but he was a medical doctor, an MD, and he turned after 30 years to a holistic doctor. So I get both sides. I feel very grateful for his guidance. But that's one thing that I learned from him, is that you want to go to the core of things. You know, if you're having issues, like, look at your digestive issues, right? Start at the core of your body. You'd be surprised by how many things are affected by our gut, especially anxiety. And it's, you know what's crazy? When he told me that, I was like, all right, you're tripping, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you're crazy. And then I literally get an article on my phone, like, probably because, you know, they listen to us. But anyway, I get an article that's saying, like, gut and mental health. And then I started to really focus. I'm like, there's something to it. So maybe when I drink coffee, I'm feeling that way because it's affecting my guts, like I have leaky gut. Like, there's something that, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something to that. So I don't want to make this video too long, but I have to say, it's not an outrageous claim to say that drinking coffee has changed my life completely, or quitting drinking coffee has changed my life, and also has not, I know I was going to try to do something witty, it's not working out, but quitting coffee has changed my life. It has completely changed my life. And I have to say, My conspiracy theory is that the reason why I was able to lose weight and release the bloatedness and all this other stuff is because I stopped drinking coffee. It's the only main thing. I mean, I even fasted. Like, I have videos on here, and it's embarrassing because I didn't stick with it, but like, I'm leaving them up because I'm not gonna like be one of these people. First off, I don't do YouTube for a job. I have a job. I'm a plumber. Almost a plumber. I'm a plumbing apprentice. But I don't make my money on YouTube. And also, I hate when people fake the funk. Like, you'll see these like fitness people that they might keep like 1 or 2 videos that when they're overweight up, but they won't share their whole journey. Like, it's cringy and embarrassing. And I played around with like different backgrounds and stuff, but it is what it is. It's my journey, bro. I'm not ashamed of it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're really looking to make a difference in your life, in my opinion, do an elimination of sorts. I don't want to be too up in your business. Hold on, let me move this back a little bit. That did nothing. Okay. Do an elimination of sorts, because I feel like whether that be eliminating dairy, eliminating meat, eliminating caffeine, whatever, right? Like eliminating bread, gluten, whatever. Or even adding things, you know, adding more vegetables, maybe adding meat. I mean, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Play around with it. Give it time. But I have to say, eliminating caffeine has not done one negative con in my life. There has not been one negative con from eliminating caffeine. The only thing that's been hard for me, and this is like just straight honesty, is that like the emotional connection that I had with like drinking coffee, like lattes and things like that. I miss that. You know, the routine of like, you know, jamming out to music, cracking one open, having that hit you the first thing in the morning. Like even me talking about it, I remember it and I feel it, and like I miss that. But my health is worth more than that to me. So if you're struggling, start eliminating things, start seeing what works for you, and take control of your life. Take control of your life. Whether you're friggin' 15 or you're 50, take control of your life. Like, I have to say that I'm so, like, I've talked about this on this channel about like ageism and stuff, but like, it's crazy that people will settle when they want more. It's crazy to me. Like, even for me, like, I have friends that'll be like, oh, why do you do this? Why do you do? Because I want to. Because I want to push myself. You know, like I'm not comfortable not growing. You know, and just putting myself out there, and like, I don't know, even with YouTube, like just meeting people, just sharing stories, like even like getting comments from people, like that means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody took time out of their day to leave me a comment, and sometimes they're really eloquent and kind comments. You know what I mean? Like, and they're people that are engaging, and like, I love talking to people, even people who might disagree with this video, who might say caffeine is the holy elixir of the world. Like, that's your prerogative, and I'd love to hear why you think that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just put myself out there, but I think like what we need more in life is like real. Like, we need real. You know, we need people that are genuine, that are, you know, and maybe a little to a fault. You know what I'm saying? Because people be like, oh, you're a weird chick, but like genuine, and like just keeping it real, bro. Like, none of us are making it out of this alive, you know? So anyway, that's my video. I have to go, I was gonna say go home. I am home. I'm in my driveway. I'm hiding from my husband and the kids. I just made them dinner. I was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go make a video. I'm gonna go make my minivan. But I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope this video helps somebody out there. And if anybody has any questions, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, let me know what you think. And quitting caffeine changed my life.